Pokemon Legends Arceus is an absolute goldmine when it comes to lore and story about the Pokemon world. Being a game that is set in the past, it's an absolute treasure trove of little bits and details that really explain more about the Pokemon world and really open our eyes to how it all came together in the modern games that we've been playing for all these years. In fact, there are several bits of absolutely mind-blowing lore in Legends Arceus that can easily slip by you if you're not paying close attention while playing the game. So strap on in and get ready to hear about some mind-blowing pieces of new Pokemon lore in Pokemon Legends Arceus. So odds are, if you're watching this video, you're probably using the internet, which is where today's awesome sponsor, Atlas VPN, comes in. The internet is a really great tool, but sometimes it can be like navigating a minefield, trying to avoid all the shady stuff out there. However, with Atlas VPN, you don't have to worry about all that. Atlas VPN protects your important info and blocks any kind of suspicious links or malware and lets you know when someone is trying to steal your data. Additionally, it can allow you to also save money while shopping online, as depending on what you're buying, the price can fluctuate based on your location. You can even use Atlas VPN to access Netflix shows that are only available in other countries, like Rick and Morty and The Office, so it's way more than just a protection service. Plus, it's an insanely good deal, as Atlas is running a promotion where you can get a 3-year plan for just $1.99 a month, and it even comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can at least try it out. They even let you run the VPN on an unlimited number of devices with just one subscription, meaning the value really doesn't get any better. So use my link in the description to grab Atlas VPN for 82% off, just $1.99 a month, with a 30-day money-back guarantee, and take advantage of all that the internet has to offer. And a big thank you to them for supporting the channel. Okay, so the first bombshell I have to share with you guys today is the fact that the Hisuian region, which obviously later becomes known as the Sinnoh region, is heavily implied by the game and all but confirmed to have originally been settled by people from the Galar region. We obviously know that the people of Jubilife Village came from different areas of the world, but the game pretty much explicitly confirms that most of those people, who eventually went on to found the greater Sinnoh region, are in fact from Galar. A ton of people from Jubilife Village, when you start to talk to them and do their various side quests, will reveal or heavily imply that they are in fact from the Galar region, and this even extends to the higher ups of the Galaxy team, such as with Professor Laventon, who is pretty clearly the ancestor to Hop and Leon, who obviously are from the Galar region in the modern day Pokemon Sword and Shield. And since we know the people from Jubilife Village were the ones who eventually went on to settle the modern Sinnoh region, Sinnoh was basically founded by people from Galar, which is absolutely mind-blowing. And speaking of Hisuian being settled by people from the Galar region, believe it or not, Professor Rowan, the descendant of Commander Kamado, is himself actually of Galarian ancestry, because Commander Kamado himself is also originally from Galar. In addition to all of the other aforementioned connections to the Galar region, Commander Kamado himself connects to Galar because he wears a suit of armor later on in the game that he says himself is traditional Galarian armor, which pretty much ties him to the Galar region himself, especially considering all of the other connections to Galar within all of the other residents of Jubilife Village. So who would have thought that the old, mustached professor from Sinnoh is actually a descendant of Galarian people? Absolutely mind-blowing. The next one on this list is actually one that I've referenced in a couple videos already, but it is pretty fascinating and opens up a new understanding about these Pokemon in particular. I am talking about Hisuian, Voltorb, and Growlithe, and how they are pretty much confirmed to be the original form of these Pokemon, unlike the Cantonian variants who we were first introduced to. This is because the backstory of Hisuian Voltorb pretty much confirms this as fact, as it states that they were considered a nuisance in the Hisui region, and people would sometimes plug up the holes on the top of their heads and kick them out of various settlements, which caused them to not be able to discharge their electricity and explode like we know Voltorb to do. And this whole story implies that this is how Voltorb came to be in the modern day, where it's not only very angry, but also constantly exploding, which means that form evolved from the original Hisuian form, effectively making it the first form of the Pokemon. When it comes to Growlithe, Growlithe's explanation is a little more theoretical, but basically still confirmed, because Growlithe's name involves the word lith, as in lithic, which means of stone or made of stone, which would obviously be referring to Hisuian Growlithe's rock type. The pure fire-type Cantonian Growlithe has no reason to have that descriptor in its name unless it originally has some tie to the rock type, which it obviously does with Hisuian Growlithe, which would basically mean that Hisuian Growlithe is the reason why this species has the name Growlithe and is therefore the original form of the Pokemon. We've obviously been talking a lot so far about a lot of the characters in Legends Arceus originally being from the Galar region, and another example of that is absolutely mind-blowing that no one would have ever considered before is the fact that just like Professor Rowan, Wally from the Hoenn region is also a descendant of Galarian people. This is because Wally's ancestor Benny obviously appears in Legends Arceus. He's a pretty prominent character, and later on in the game, he will tell you about how he traveled to Hisui with Kamado, as they were originally from the same town. And obviously, we just barely essentially confirmed that Kamado is originally from the Galar region, which would make Benny also originally from the Galar region, which makes Wally a descendant of Galarian people, which is effectively like rewriting everything we thought we knew about the Pokemon world and its history. It's absolutely insane, and I absolutely love it. One of the coolest things about Pokemon Legends Arceus taking place in the past is that it actually offers an explanation for the way that some things are in the modern Sinnoh games, Diamond Pearl and Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. One of these is why exactly Giratina resides within the Sinnoh region in Diamond and Pearl, and why it does what it does in Pokemon Platinum. Once you defeat Giratina in the post-game, you will be able to find and catch it within Turnback Cave, which is obviously where it appears in the modern Sinnoh games. Once you report this to Professor Laventon, he will state that it seems that Giratina has decided to become a protector of the Hisui region and stick around instead of going back to the Distortion World, since it realized that it is not as strong as you. This would explain why Giratina is just sitting in the Turnback Cave in Diamond and Pearl instead of being in the Distortion World, and as for Platinum, where it is in the Distortion World, it explains why Giratina appears once Cyrus captures Dialga and Palkia attempting to complete his plan, because it's effectively trying to protect the region after the events it experienced with you hundreds of years ago. Next up, here is a wild one. It's so wild, in fact, that I couldn't quite wrap my head around it originally, and fellow Poketubers Hybrid Hero and Birdkeeper Toby had to sort of explain it to me in a way I could understand, but when I did, I was absolutely mind blown. And that is the fact that for all intents and purposes, you are your own ancestor in Pokemon Legends Arceus. If you haven't noticed, the game is both a prequel to Pokemon Diamond and Pearl and a sequel at the same time. It's a prequel because it takes place in the past, and it's a sequel because your player character gets transported back in time after the events of Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. Depending on who you choose to play as in the game will determine who the assistant to Professor Laventon is. It will obviously be Akari if you're playing as Ray, and it will be Ray if you're playing as Akari. This assistant character is obviously the ancestor to the one that we see in the modern Sinnoh games, but as it pertains to their counterpart, which is you as the player character, their ancestor doesn't exist because you as the player are filling their role. But you're not obviously their ancestor either because you came from the future, so you are actually Lucas and/or Dawn. You're not Lucas and/or Dawn's ancestor. However, it's also implied that you actually are in fact your own ancestor, because we obviously know that character exists because you exist in the modern day, and the character of Rei and/or Akari also exists within the Legends canon, and because the space-time rift is what brought you to this point in time, and the space-time rift eventually closes at the end of the game, it can more or less be assumed that your player character stays in the past because they can't exactly go back without the space-time rift, and eventually becomes the ancestor to themselves from the modern Sinnoh games. It's timey-wimey, it's crazy, but once again, I love it. And last but not least, this is another one that I saw someone else make the observation on, so shout out to Rachel Briggs on Twitter for this one, but similar to you being your own ancestor, it's also possible that the Pokemon Porygon is also based on itself. Porygon is obviously a man-made Pokemon, meaning that it is physically impossible for it to exist within this more technologically limited time period. However, it does find its way into the world of the game using the space-time distortions that periodically pop up around the region. Once you actually catch one of these Pokemon and complete its Pokedex entry, Professor Laventon, who writes the Pokedex entries, will talk about in the entry how he has no idea what this Pokemon is or how it even lives. This confirms that Porygon was documented by a Pokemon professor within this time period of the Pokemon world, which means when it finally came time to actually make Porygon in the modern day, the scientists at Silphco most likely were aware of Professor Laventon's findings and research, making it very possible that the design of Porygon was based on his findings, meaning that Porygon was actually based on itself. And there you have it, everybody. Those were some bits of mind-blowing lore from Pokemon Legends Arceus. This game is really rewriting everything we thought we knew about the history of the Pokemon world, and it is absolutely a joy to learn the stuff that this game has to offer. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and subscribe if you're new for more content. With that being said, I will be back with another video very soon, and until the next one, as always, thank you guys for watching, I love you very much, and I will smell you guys later.